Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Now, as President Trump rages at the courts for blocking his ban on refugees that he says will help make America safe again, I've sat down with a man who spent his whole career trying to do just that. Ex-FBI Special Agent Ali Soufan has interrogated some of the most wanted terrorists in the world, and it's claimed came closer than anyone to stopping 9/11. Well, I began by asking him whether he thinks that Trump's controversial ban will help to keep America safe.
ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Bin Laden, they already, we know what they think, we know what they say. They believe that there is two tents, they call it, the tents of the believers and the tents of the non-believers, and there is nothing in between. And they already told the Muslim world that don't be fooled by the West, don't be fooled by the infidels, those guys don't like you, so you better be good Muslims and be like us. So now when we tell entire populations of 7 majority Muslim countries, you're not allowed in our tent, we're actually proving the point of ISIS and proving the point of Al-Qaeda.
So clearly making America less safe as a result then?
Absolutely, not only America, making the world less safe. See, 95% of the victims of groups like Al-Qaeda and ISIS are Muslims, 95%. Most of the killings that's happening in Iraq and Syria are against Syrian citizens and Iraqi citizens who do not agree with the terrorists. Same thing you see in many different places around the world. So these guys are the victims, and we should not treat the victims and the terrorists the same way. That's not a winning formula.
So is it racist then, do you think, to ban people based on nationality rather than intelligence?
I don't know what it is. I don't want to, accuse anyone of being racist or not, but I can tell you it's ineffective because the robust vetting system that we already have in place prevented people from these 7 countries to come and conduct terrorist attacks. It makes it next to impossible for an individual to come to the United States from the 7 countries and other countries that is not appropriately vetted. So the only thing that's actually traveling to our countries from these 7 countries that's listed is a poisonous ideology that's brainwashing people. And terrorists now, because it's difficult for them to send people to the United States, they actually send their ideology through the internet to recruit people inside the United States. And this is where the threat is.
Now, you've been involved in several interrogations of high-profile terror suspects. You've also testified to the US Senate against the use of torture. Are you concerned then by the President's comments about torture working?
Well, absolutely. It's very concerning because it's coming from the President of the United States. I mean, it was a little bit concerning when it was coming out from the candidate, but now that individual is the President of the United States. And think about it. This is the President, this is the United States of America. This is the shining city on the hill. And you have the President basically saying that, yeah, torture works. I feel it works. Unfortunately, it's not about how the President feels. It's about facts. The fact is torture is illegal. The fact is torture is immoral. And the fact it's ineffective.
Do you have any personal experience that backs up your belief, your clear belief that torture is ineffective? Because obviously some other agents think that it is effective.
I disagree. I'm the only one who actually testified, raised my hand, right hand and testified in Congress. I was there. I witnessed how disastrous torture was. I think if you look at many of the investigative reporting that has been done by the US government and has been declassified, it shows that all the good information, for example, that came from Abu Zubaydah, which is one of the very first operatives that torture was applied on, was obtained by my team before torture. I'll give you one example how torture was basically fired back in an ugly way on all of us, is the war in Iraq. The war in Iraq was based, as you remember, the UN, by the fact that Saddam Hussein and Osama bin Laden were working together, and they developed WMD together, and they have an individual named Abu Musab al-Zarqawi who is the link. After we went to war in Iraq, we found out that all this information was lie. There is no WMD, and Saddam and bin Laden are not working together, and that Abu Musab al-Zarqawi is a nobody, you know. So they went back to the person who provided that intelligence, and they said, "Why did you lie about it? Why did you lie?" He said, "Well, you were torturing me. I know that's what you want, so I gave you what you wanted." And look at the disaster that the Iraq war created. We're still suffering from it until today. Yes, if you want something, you can torture people and they give you exactly what you want. But is it the truth? That's a totally different situation.
I've been